If you're an Auburn fan, spring football starts today. Today, it's Tuesday, February 27th. Regardless of when you're watching this, we got Kyle Loomis here to break down Auburn football. You can catch Kyle and the rest of the crew. E2C Network. It's Auburn football. It's Auburn athletics. It's Auburn community. It's Auburn everything. So get the entire Auburn experience. E2C Network. Kyle, how you doing today?
I'm excited. This is the second most wonderful time of the year for college football fans. It's like the precursor to what we all wait for every single fall. Get you geared up, get you somewhat excited, just a little taste of something. And for us Auburn fans, obviously, still a lot of questions out there, but I think they're good questions this year, anticipating if we can take the next step. So excited just as a general college football fan, but obviously as excited as an Auburn football person too.
Yes, so Auburn fans are going to be more excited if they have hope that the passing game is going to be better. And I guess that starts with Peyton Thorne. If he's able to fend off all comers and win the job again.
Yes. So I think obviously every year for the last, 4, 5, maybe 6 years, there's been a question about who's going to be the Auburn football quarterback. Is there a competition? Is there someone better than who's currently there? And we've been just going through this scenario almost in my eyes. Just I'm tired of it kind of. And there's a little bit of that trying to be stirred up this year. Should Peyton Thorne be the starter? If you look at the depth chart, you've got a Peyton Thorne who played last year and won by the end of the season, won the job outright over Robbie Ashford. Robbie Ashford's no longer here. He's moved off to NC State, which leaves behind him Holden Garner, also Hank Brown, who is a guy who was brought in by Hugh Freeze when he first arrived, who got some playing time in the bowl game and had a pretty good, at the very end of a bowl game, a pretty good time. And then newcomer Walker White. So that's your 4 names right now that you really look at who's in the race to be the starting quarterback. But to me, and what I'm trying to get most Auburn fans on board with, is you need to make peace with the fact that Peyton Thorne's your starting quarterback until proven otherwise. Yes, there is a competition. He has to go out there and earn it. And the other guys have just as much opportunity to go out and win the job too. But you can't take away the guy's experience. He's now had a full year under Hugh Freeze. Yes, it's going to be maybe a different scheme, different offensive coordinator now. But you can't take away from the moxie that the guy clearly has and showed at times this year. So it is a question of, is there a quarterback battle? To some degree, yes. But to me, it's Peyton Thorne's job to lose at this point.
So, Kyle, is there a guy, whether he's ready or not, or could be realistically expected to be ready, that seems to be the future? That the fans love? He's got the high ceiling, he's got the big arm, and we're just waiting on him, and hopefully he can progress faster than most, and he can be ready and knock Peyton Thorne out of the starting job week 3, week 4, something like that. Or is it just a matter of we're going to go with the least damaging quarterback kind of deal?
I hope we're not doing the least damaging quarterback again this year, or whatever year it has been over the last several years. With that question, everybody's minds right now, if you're an Auburn fan watching this, is Walker White. He's the true freshman coming in. He's got all the intangibles, all the accolades out of high school. His numbers look great. He's got the charisma. He's got the leadership qualities in terms of being a guy that you can rally behind. He was instrumental in making this one of the best recruiting classes that Auburn has had in quite some time. So all the pieces seem to be there for Walker White. The big question for me, and I think for Auburn fans, if you're being reasonable, is that going to translate immediately into success as a college football quarterback? Just because you have success at the high school level doesn't mean it's going to carry over immediately to the college football level. Sometimes it takes a season. And so to me, I think if you ask that question to the general Auburn fan, the name is going to be Walker White. And I'm excited to have him here and what he potentially brings to the table, especially in kind of some of those off the field things, the way he behaves as a leader, acts as a leader, has guys rally around and to him. Those are things that have me excited for the future. Now, can he push Peyton Thorne for the starting job to begin the season, later on this season? I think he's got the capability to do it. I just don't necessarily know that it's going to be happening. And I want Auburn fans, us, to have a more healthy perspective of this year and not to be itching every single time Peyton Thorne may not do something that you like, calling for Walker White to come in. Now, if he comes out and wins the job, I'm all for it. Like, let's go. Let's roll with whoever gives us the best shot to win. Let's just don't, well, as you said, use the least damaging quarterback. But to me, the battle is mainly between Walker White and Peyton Thorne. Holden Geriner, I think we had hoped he would burst through at some point, and it hasn't happened for whatever reason. I don't really know the reason why. There's also a contingent of fans that are really excited about Hank Brown and what he did in the bowl game, and I love seeing him out there having a good time. But I don't see those two at this moment as, I hate to say legitimate contenders. That's too strong a word. What I really mean, can't think of anything else at the time. But to me, it's a Walker White and Holden Geriner battle at this point.
Yeah, talk about not being able to come up with the right terms. I was thinking of lesser of two evils, and that's where my mind was. But I was thinking I don't want to associate that word with a quarterback battle. Let's not go to that extreme there. So we'll go with the way it was phrased.
Sure.
Between those players. So if Hugh Freeze gets his way, if he is able to develop this offense and get it to where a Hugh Freeze offense is playing at its maximum, what is expected out of the quarterback position? Is there a certain style, a certain set of numbers that would be applicable to, okay, this team has arrived, they're playing for an SEC championship, and this is what the quarterback produces?
I think it's consistency right now from the quarterback, and whether that's consistency in numbers and taking care of the football, I think it really is across the board. I think that's what Auburn really has lacked at the quarterback position over the last several years. We've had guys with great athletic ability who can run really well with their feet. And several of those, Peyton Thorne, I've talked with you several times here, surprised me. You swore up and down, Kyle, you need to pay attention to his legs, and I didn't listen to you. And you were right. We've got guys that are better, gunslingers. Peyton Thorne's got a pretty good arm, and he showed that a lot last year in some good deep balls. So I think consistency, well-roundedness, this year, leadership quality, I think, is what's going to win out. And as I just talked about with Walker White in this battle, I think he's got some of that as such a young kid, which would make him probably the legitimate number 2 candidate for this at this point. But you just can't take away experience. Peyton Thorne's been around the block, and I think that's what's going to win out in this. He also, I think what I understand about Hugh Freeze and his offense, since we're seemingly giving him, or I shouldn't say giving him, he's taking the reins back a little bit, bringing in Derek Nix from Ole Miss as his offensive coordinator. Some see that as a proxy of sorts, but he's the offensive coordinator. He's going to be involved in the play calling too. I would say with the quarterback situation, a guy's got to be able to move the ball down the field. And right now, all we know is that the one who can do that the best and the most consistently is Peyton Thorne. Did he have some slip ups last year? Yeah, sure. But there's a lot of other parts to that equation, moving the ball down the field, maybe throwing some deep balls. You got to have wide receivers actually, going to catch the ball, which is an integral part of that, and get your blocking down too. So to me, I maybe I went all around your question there. I think consistency is key. Who can air it out the best? I think those are probably the things that are going to factor most into the decision for play calling and quarterback situation.